Hello guys, Wayne here from Luna's World. Welcome back to London City, and the purpose of this video is to check out what on earth the reflection slider does and what impact it has in Vulkan. So what am I talking about? Let's have a look. So if we head over to the graphic options here, this is really what I'm talking about, this slider here. At the moment I've got it set on this medium. There's two mediums, which I think is a bug or some kind of weird thing going on here. So we have minimal, low, medium, medium, high, and maximum. So let's start with it off, and we'll keep everything else as it is, and we'll do this kind of step by step, and we'll have a good old look around at what it actually does, and is it worth having it on? How does it impact our frame rates? Now, I have SkyMax Pro 4.9 running. This is what you can see clouds-wise. So we've got some scattered clouds. Let's go ahead and take off anyway, and we will see what happens along the way. So again, the purposes of this video, we're monitoring stuttering. That is the aim of the game here. How much of an impact does it have? And is it worth the visual fidelity? Okay, so we'll get a bit of altitude and we'll fly around. I want to be hanging around sort of near water because, and we'll just raise up like this a little bit. This slider will do, oops, some stuttering there. Actually, let me just do something. I'm going to go to one notch down here. This is how I fly in VR. So really, this is kind of what I should be testing it with. My maximum settings that I'm willing to go to, sorry, my minimum settings that I'm willing to go to. I'm not willing to sacrifice any. I could maybe go down to high here, and I could maybe bump this down. But I do have a 1080 Ti, and I have a really good fast processor, so I should be able to manage with this. We'll see how we go. Let's Mo Media told me that VSync is broken in this, so we won't bother with that. We'll keep that off. So this is our base setting basically, and we're getting 50 frames, which is nice. Are we getting any stuttering though? We are when I turn the hat switch, of course. This is a known bug. It flaps up. Alright, so I want to head into the city. This is where it's going to be the most demanding. And when you're doing this kind of testing, it's always worthwhile going to your worst case scenario. And in this case, it doesn't get much worse performance-wise than London. Oh, by the way, I have got the Orbex, just dip the wing a little bit. I have got the Orbex London City installed, which is looking pretty nice. Okay, so as you can see, the water, especially off into the distance, looks kind of flat. There's no reflective surfaces on there. So let's bump up. And we're running, let's just go 40 frames, essentially, 45, between 40 and 45. So let's go one notch up on this and see what it does, if anything. Okay, so first of all, I'm looking in the water and I can't see any reflections. It looks the same as before, in my point of view, unless I'm missing something here. But yeah, I can't see any reflective surfaces in the water right now. Okay, right, let's pause here. There's maybe a little bit, is that a shadow from the cloud? I don't know, this is burnt in, I think. Anyway, let's go up another notch to medium. I noticed the biggest jump was between this medium and this medium. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's see on this setting if it has any significant changes. We're still about the same frame rate, 40, 43. And again, I'm struggling to see any difference visually. Especially in the water. Let me dim the lights. Yeah, I mean, we should be seeing reflections from the lights there, but I'm not seeing anything. Okay, let's go then. And we're down to 34, 33 frames, so we've lost quite a lot of frame rate there. I noticed the biggest difference going to this second medium setting here. We'll start to see reflections in the water. Now, if you look closely, look at that. Reflective surfaces are alive. I think that looks good as well. It's quite subtle. How are we doing on frames? We're down to 28, 29. But that does look nice, and despite the low frame rate, I am fairly stutter-free. There's a few, but it's not too bad. Okay, this would be a good place to stop here to test the next setting. So let's go ahead and ramp it up one more to high. I've got a feeling we're going to lose a lot of frames here. I think there's more definition. Let's unpause. Okay, not a huge amount of, maybe lost a couple of frames. Nothing too crazy. Let's do the ultimate maximum. So don't forget, reflections affect your CPU, not your GPU. So it's good to be aware of that. Ooh, okay. We've lost definition actually. We've just now got a blob, but it's bigger, if that makes sense. There's less definition, but we have more reflections. So, I'm not sure. I mean, it looks beautiful. Frame rate wise, around 27-ish. Any stuttering? A little bit. But nothing too crazy. Let me alter the light. Okay, so we can see in this area we have this dark reflection. I'm not entirely sure where it's coming from though. Something here, maybe this building, but I don't know why it's that shape. Anyway, let's start dialing it back down. Let's go to high. See what gains we get in FPS. Okay, so back above 30. And I'd like to draw your attention to the reflective surfaces on the building here. A little bit stuttery, even though we're kind of fixed at 34, 35 frames. Mind you, it's smoothened out now. Yeah. Anyway, let's try not nitpick. We're in the most demanding part of the world. Right, let's head back to the water. Yeah, I mean, some definite shadow and shading going on there. But why is it flat in this area? Maybe there's just no... the light is not... Yeah, so there we go. There's some reflective stuff happening there. That's looking really nice. It does bring the water alive, I have to say. And there's more definition in the waves. So yeah, I like that. I think it, like I said, it brings the water to life. And we've got some nice reflections happening there from these tall buildings. Altering the light as we go along, just so you guys can see. Obviously it will stutter when I change the lighting conditions. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it does bring graphical fidelity to the sim. I think it looks good, but how good? Is it worth the trade-off? Because there is a trade-off. You can see now we're at 30, we just dipped above 30 there, depending on the lighting conditions, but there's a nice example of it working really well. I mean, overall, we're getting a smooth experience. Let's pause it for a second. So the real question is then, is there much difference between having on high and this medium? We know that there's a big difference in visual fidelity dropping down here, in that all the reflective surfaces on the water go away. And I don't see the point of having reflective surfaces on the aircraft, because you're not going to see it. You're in the cockpit mostly, and there is some reflections on the nose. But for me, I've seen the biggest jump between this and this, and I'm wondering if I can save some FPS here by not going to the high setting. So let's have a look and check it out. On pause. Yeah, so we've still definitely got reflections in, and it looks pleasing to me. That looks good. Quite happy with how that looks. Let's have a quick look over here. Let's see if we're managing to stay up around 30 or above would be good. I think we are, pretty much. It's very smooth. And yeah, I think that's looking nice. Let's just play around with the lighting a bit. I like the look of it. I think it does look good. I think it adds something to the visual fidelity of the sim. And it looks like with Vulkan we can actually have that privilege now. Gliding in here because we're too fast. There we go. Oh, lovely landing there, if I do say so myself. Anyway, we're down on the ground. Obviously now you're seeing PBR by Orbex, PBR lighting on the runway. So that's not relevant. That would still be here if we turn reflections off. So my thoughts are that this does have a nice impact on the visuals, but I think roughly for every 1 notch we go up, you lose between 3 and 5 frames. I don't see the benefit of not having reflections on water, so I wouldn't go below, if I'm going to use it at all, I wouldn't go below the second medium. And maybe I'll have to trade off. Maybe I'll have to notch this down. Let's just, for the sake of it, see what we get notched up. And again, don't just rely on frame rates. It's about the stuttering, really. Frame rates don't mean a whole lot. I mean, they do. If you're dropping below 30, then I would be tempted to dial things down again. But this is smooth. Nice reflections on the water, those buildings over there. Yeah, so I would say for me, for my system, in this part of the world, and obviously therefore in any part of the world, this works quite well. My conclusion is that, you know, it's very quick to load different settings here. So it's not like changing world objects where you have to wait for it to reload the whole scenery. This is pretty quick. So you could, as with anti-aliasing as well, you could constantly change these two things to match the area of the world that you're in. For me, though, I like to just get in and fly. So that's why I've chosen to test this out in this difficult area. And pretty much I know if I can fly on these settings in London, I'm pretty good for the rest of the world. But there we go, guys. I think the golden number is 30 frames. I wouldn't go below that, and change your settings to match that to get the most smooth experience. Hope this has been useful, guys. I hope you've understood what reflection now does and how it impacts your system. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.